Imagine standing on a tiny wooden peg, 150 feet above the jungle floor, with tens of thousands of giant, defensive bees swarming around your face. Today, we are climbing high into the canopy of the Vietnamese rainforest to harvest wild honey from a highly defensive colony. With no safety harnesses, we rely only on decades of tradition, focus, and a steady hand. Let's see if we can make it back down safely. Welcome back, everyone. Today, we are deep in the heart of the Southeast Asian rainforest. We will be searching for the giant beehive, inhabited by aggressive and highly defensive bees, namely the Apis dorsata forest bee, the giant Asian honeybee. To get an idea of the scale, these trees are ancient giants of the jungle. They rise straight up towards the sunlight, and their branches provide an ideal platform for these open-air nests. Unlike Western honeybees that nest in hollow trees, these giant bees build a single, massive comb underneath thick branches. It makes them highly visible, but also incredibly difficult and dangerous to reach. For local honey hunters, climbing these trees is a tradition passed down through generations, requiring immense physical strength and steady nerves. Let's talk about the climbing process itself. To get up here, I had to use a traditional method of driving wooden pegs into the trunk of the tree to create a temporary ladder. Each step is held together by wire and sheer friction. Climbing up with heavy gear, a knife, and protective clothing in the humid jungle heat is an exhausting process. One misstep on these narrow wooden rungs at this height would be disastrous, so every movement must be deliberate and planned. Now, as I get closer to the branch where the hive is located, the tension rises. I am wearing a basic protective suit, a mesh face veil, and thick pink rubber gloves. The pink color might look a bit out of place in the green jungle, but these gloves are highly practical. They are thick enough to protect my hands from stings while still giving me the dexterity I need to handle a sharp knife and grip the slippery, moss-covered branches. As I slowly slide along the branch toward the nest, the bees begin to react. Apis dorsata are known to be highly defensive. When they feel threatened, they coordinate their movements to create a shimmering effect across the surface of the comb, a warning sign telling you to back off. If you ignore it, they will swarm. Right now, thousands of them are taking flight, creating a thick cloud of insects around me. They are pelting against my visor and landing all over my clothes. You can feel the vibrations of their wings. This is the moment where you have to control your breathing. If you panic, your heart rate spikes, your movements become jerky, and that is when accidents happen. You have to ignore the bees crawling over your hands and face veil and stay focused on the task. Looking at the hive, you can see the sheer structure of it. The upper portion, right where it attaches to the branch, is where the honey is stored. It is called the honey dome. The lower, larger part is the brood comb, where the queen lays eggs and the larvae develop. Our philosophy here is strictly about sustainable harvesting. We do not destroy the entire nest. Using a small amount of natural smoke from burning leaves, we gently encourage the bees to clear out of the honey dome. Pull out my machete. The blade has to be razor sharp to slice through the wax smoothly without crushing the cells and letting the honey run down the trunk. I make a careful, curved cut along the branch, separating the honey dome from the wood. It takes a steady hand because the comb is heavy. It is filled with pounds of pure nectar, and if I lose my grip, the entire harvest will plunge to the forest floor. As the knife slices through, the golden honey begins to ooze. It has a beautiful, rich amber color, a testament to the diverse wildflowers of this forest. Unlike commercial honey, this wild forest honey contains a complex profile of local pollens and nectar, giving it a unique taste. I gently lift the cut section, keeping my footing on the branch, and prepare to pack it. I have a camo backpack hanging from a small branch nearby, and inside are plastic bags. I carefully slide the dripping honeycomb into a bag to seal it and prevent any honey from getting on the rest of my gear. The smell of the fresh honey is sweet, which only excites the bees more. They are swarming even faster now, attracted by the scent and the disruption of their home. With the main honey dome safely tucked away, I inspect the remaining part of the nest. It is crucial to leave the brood comb undamaged and firmly attached to the branch. The bees will quickly return, clean up the cut area, and begin rebuilding. Within a few weeks, the colony will have repaired the damage, and the queen will continue to expand the hive. This respectful relationship ensures that the bee population remains healthy, and we can return to harvest again in the future. Now, it is time to prepare for the descent. Packing up the gear, sealing the backpack, and making sure everything is secure is just as important as the harvest itself. The backpack is significantly heavier now with the honey inside, which shifts my center of gravity. Standing on a wet branch 150 feet up, I have to recalibrate my balance before taking my first step back toward the trunk. Going down is often the most physically demanding part. Your muscles are tired from the climb and the tension of dealing with the bees. You cannot see the wooden pegs beneath your feet easily, so you have to feel your way down, step by step, testing each peg's stability before putting your full weight on it. It is a slow, methodical process that requires deep concentration. As I finally reach the lower branches and get closer to the ground, the buzzing of the bees begins to fade. The swarm stays high up near their nest, busy repairing their home. Reaching the forest floor is always a moment of relief and gratitude. My hands are sticky and my body is exhausted, but we have successfully harvested some high-quality wild honey without harming the colony. With the harvest complete, I can now carefully pack away my equipment. Back on the ground, the intensity of the climb fades into a deep sense of accomplishment. This traditional honey gathering is a challenging craft, but respecting the bees and their habitat ensures we can continue this practice sustainably. Thank you for joining me on this high-altitude journey, and I look forward to sharing our next adventure with you. See you next time. Goodbye.